Oh, come on, get over there. Oh yeah. Got this big cottonwood. Can't fell it. I've got this piece above me that I'm tying into. So the piece that I can make a big drop cut on, I want that to remain last. And the piece I have to piece down, I want to do first. Now I might kind of be isolated on this. We'll find out here. If I'm isolated, I'll just run a running bowline up there. And I won't have to have a downline in the way. All right. There's the end of my rope. So we would have to add another rope if we were gonna tie this off anywhere. We don't really have enough rope to do both. But maybe once I break this branch off. Here, let's do this. Yes. Now I gotta pull this off. You gotta break that branch free and have it come down. All right, now we're isolated that side, so do running bowline. All right. From this angle, this right side looks higher, but I'll probably climb all the way to my rope, get it up a little higher, and then come back here. I'll have a lateral line, but I'll be able to drop cut that out of there pretty good. When you get up there, you can see the angles a little better. Oh, if I had everything I've spilled over time, I'd be doing pretty good. If I could take every ounce of gas I spilled, gather it up right now, and then sell it at today's current prices, that'd be a net win. Got my new fancy, I think we're ready. I like how these slide. Alright, don't go falling off of this thing now. Get yourself lanyarded on. That'd be a little bit of a ride. Alright.
it looks like a bigger tree when you get up here.
Could go right over that oak branch. I'd wreck that box elder. I don't think he's too concerned about that box elder. I'm gonna put those, I might put those back on, I might not. Might as well use. When I first started out in tree work, speed line was one of my go-to solo techniques. You know, you could set it up a fair distance away from the tree, have the length of rope with you, and you could set that anchor point in the tree at a nice high spot, and then you could actually pull the speed line around in the tree to different locations and secure it down and lower several limbs. And you were kind of limited only by the number of slings that you took into the tree. So here I had a big limb that was out over this trailer that couldn't be moved. And, I needed to get it down. I could have, limb walked out there and pieced it down. Or I could just take one rig and speed line it down. And my GoPro, got bumped off by a little stick that I cut. And so I didn't have any GoPro footage of this speed line. But I did get it here on the big camera. And so speed line is really handy in the right circumstances, and I was able to get this limb up, out of the way. And if I had more, I could have done more, but I had drop cuts in most of the other places, so I didn't have to continue using it. But it really worked well for this one rig. You got it. Awesome. Yeah, I didn't have a lot of hinge, folks. It's like, sometimes you just gotta grunt. You get it. Because I don't want to come off of this, where I'm going down and coming back up. That's still fun. Alright, we were supposed to come back earlier this year and prune prune that branch off.
That would have been a little easier to take this down if that branch was gone.
Off of that oak. Now I got to avoid it.
It is my intent to stay on top here.
It's gonna be some pretty big wood to cut.
Oh, my feet feel so nice and snug with those Velcro.
Let me cut this off here. Hey Groundy, can you get me some water? Oh, yeah, I'm out of practice. I'm out of solo practice. I think I'm gonna go higher up over here. Cut that half off of that. I can cut that off up there. And then this will freely drop that way.
It's a 150-foot line. Remember that both ends were on the ground. I swept off it a little bit, but we got a few more degree days left. There's not a lot of insects flying yet. This is a pretty nice day. So this comes down to really thinking about what to take off first. You know, you could get carried away and, oh, I can drop cut all this, but you got all that you can't necessarily. Now the limb reaper would work good here. A lot of spit, a lot of spitfire and a long bar. I can tie this up here, then I can go up there, and I could actually bring my other end up and tie off up there, and I can run around and piece those off. And then when I come back down off of there, this end can be tied up here, but I can send it with the whole piece. And it'll just be on the tail, then I'll be on the other end. So, but if I bring the other end up and I tie up there, then I can essentially run all over and just throw those pieces down. Well, I can get those lofted out. I can take a whole big piece off of there. Down, I can sling two pieces together there and just drop that piece on top of that piece. So then when I go down and out there, I've got all of it there to throw down. And I don't have to worry about doing that later. It'll just be hanging there. And that piece I can notch here and I can send down here. It'll drift far enough off. So, all right, got a plan. All right, let's get going. Gonna run out of. All right, no problem.
Well, let's just bend this over. Well, I was kind of hoping that'd stay up there better. Now I could just switch my akimbo out. I could just add my rig to the system. So now I can be on 2. I'm going to leave that on there because I want that weight so that I can notch it right here and loft that over the top. Is not gonna operate very nicely with all this weight on there, so I think I'm gonna switch out. Throw my lanyard on quick. I can probably just cut that bad boy free. It's gonna sweep right down there. Let me try that. Well, and the other thing I could do, I got a couple more of these. Okay. You got it. Snagged on that. You dog. I'm just gonna send this.
stub up here. Perfect. So this HMPE is not good for dynamic loads, so you want to make sure you're just hanging stuff on it. Like speed line, that's kind of a fluid load, that's not a dynamic drop. Try not to drop things on it. But speed line sort of just comes on the load and then slides. Oh, almost knocked it out of there. It would really stink to follow my lanyard right now. All right, not everything's gone perfect here. It rarely does when you're by yourself. We're gonna hinge this. Little bit of hand push when the hinge breaks, and that cleared that branch. So let it come over and then push. That was the difference maker. Okay, horizontal. You gotta cut these brake cuts perpendicular to the wheel. Okay, it's rocking. Okay, if you cut that with the lean, that's already gone. All right, pull it back this way. All right, we're getting down to easy now. I think we can just dead branch. That side, if I'm going to send that with that, it's got to be on the same side of the tree. Put another fray on it. Look at that. That's close. I got a few of those. superficial. This lanyard's got a number of those. I'll probably change it out here. Just about done. Did you see? See, that's a fairly shallow notch, and it fell off of there because we got lean. We almost always have lean on East Coast trees here, Midwest trees. So this whole trunk leans. So I can make baby notches all the way down this thing. Now I got my climbing line below me though. That's gonna be problematic. Close enough. Look at that, I missed that. I was coming around and I didn't quite get that one piece. Blasted cottonwood. Yeah, boom, right over there. We'll make one more. And this time we'll make sure we get around to the other side. All right, folks. Get my rope on the right side of my body here. Oh, look at that. My rope was on concrete and that log is there. I think it missed it because it's pulling through, but that could have crushed my rope. So this was a speedline kit from All Gear, which you can get at GameWithTrees.com. And that little trick worked pretty good. This is static kern mantle line, so they call it high line. So it's got very little stretch, which is better than the others, and it handles, you know, external friction better than the other double braided climbing lines for sure, and it's got less stretch than those lines. So with your speedline system, you don't want a lot of stretch.
Game of trees. We're having fun.
There's always a risk when you're playing the game of trees.